What's up, y'all, and welcome to How's the View, the official podcast of View Homes. I'm your host, Ariel Houston, and today with me I have my co-host, Kyle O'Leary. Welcome to the pod, Kyle.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah?
I know we've been talking about this for a while, podcasts, when to get it started, how to do it, what questions to ask, direction, all that good stuff. So to finally see it to come to fruition, it's super exciting.
Yeah, everyone has a podcast now,
Exactly.
So why not us?
We got to be the cool kids, right?
Absolutely.
Good.
All right, so big question. Why did we start a podcast? I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, that's a good question because we are on all social media platforms, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and it's great in those platforms because those are highly edited videos. But for people to see the raw background of View Homes and information, leadership, whatever it may be, this is something that's going to be cool to see people in their natural habitat without the Adobe Premiere Pro edits and animations and really get to know each other.
Yeah, it's raw.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. So I guess just to tell our listeners, our viewers, all things like what to expect listening to this podcast, I know we can expect the market, the real estate market, right? What else?
Man, there's so many different ways you can take this. Of course, we're a home building company, so we're going to be talking about home building, but not necessarily in the manner that a lot of people may expect. We may be sitting here and talk about the innovation of home building, thoughtful series, how we're revolutionizing the industry. But even to get outside of home building, there's also going to be leadership. There may be people in here talking about the economy, just in general, what to see, especially over the coming months and over the next year or so. Just because I know that's in a lot of people's minds right now. It's like, okay, what to expect? Not that anyone's going to have the exact answer,
right,
but some general things of what to expect and what we're looking at.
Yeah, so overall, business, real estate,
Leadership,
and just life.
Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Love it. So it's exciting. We have a lot of things planned. I'm excited. I know you're excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can expect these once a month, right?
Yes, and that's our plan as of right now. As this thing takes off, because people are going to love How's the View.
Yeah,
that we might have to bring some more in, but as of right now, yeah, we're looking about one a month.
Cool, perfect. And so a little bit, let's jump into your connection to View Homes. I know if you've been following us for a while on social media, anybody listening, they've seen your face a lot. So let's talk about your connection, your background. What does that look like? How are you connected to View Homes?
Yes. So my family, especially my dad, started View Homes back in 1990. And I know I always joke around, I'm like, man, that was before I was even born. Mm-hmm. And so my dad got into the real estate, 1992. I know, I'm still a baby, okay. But, Dad started it back in 1990, and he has a great story where, it was starting in, landscaping, pool business, and I'm going to save a lot of that story for when we bring him on.
We'll bring him on for sure. We got to talk to him.
Absolutely, because it's a super cool story. But it's one of those where now we have progressed where we started in El Paso, Texas as a small builder, just like the song, what is it? Small town in West Texas, something like that.
I've never heard that song.
No, never me either.
No.
But it is one of those where we started there and then we slowly branched into like Las Cruces, New Mexico. And then in 2008, literally when the market crashed, we came into Colorado Springs and then San Antonio, Northern Colorado, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're in Laredo. And this year we're coming up to Des Moines, Iowa. But it is one of those where it's like, hey, the family has been associated with this for the last 33 years.
Your entire family?
My entire family. My brother's running our Colorado Springs division. My sister is marketing. And I've gone through the whole process of sales and construction. Now I'm in the social media and content creation realm of things. And so it is cool to see just everything develop, especially as, as the country and society itself dives more into social media, especially once COVID hit. Everything went digital, everything went to social media. And so now it's this new adventure for me too. It's like, okay, let's get this social media started. Let's not only do the normal social media platforms, but also the podcast.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's really interesting. I want to elaborate on it just a little bit. This is a family-owned business.
It is.
So you're involved, your brother's involved. Who else is involved?
Man, of course, Dad. And
Obviously,
then I got
yes.
my uncles. So I have two uncles in El Paso, Texas still. One's leading production, one's leading marketing. I mean, yeah. So like we said, it's a family-owned business, but then, we employ over 350 people.
Right.
And so it is one of those where it's like, hey, this is growing. It's getting to an extent where, we're able to touch a lot of people's lives, but at the same time, still keep that family business feeling.
Right, and there are not a lot of large businesses that still have the root of the family, in it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty special.
So we just explained and dove into who I am and how I'm associated with all this. Ariel, would you do us the pleasure? How did you get started in this?
Okay, so do we want to talk about, should we go all the way back to 2014
Absolutely.
and our connection?
Absolutely.
So, long story short, I moved from California to Texas, El Paso, Texas, and I started working at a supplement store that you and your brother own. So I have
Weird.
known your family, since 2014, and then I ended up marrying your best friend. I know, yes. And then we purchased our very first View home in 2016, and then lived in El Paso, Texas until 2020, and sold that house, packed up everything, moved here to Colorado Springs, and we're now currently in our second View home, which is exciting. Just closed a month ago on a Thoughtful Series home, which we'll get into all of that. You'll hear us talk a lot about Thoughtful Series, and so those are special, and we'll talk a lot about that. But I'm currently living in one, love it so much, and so also, I'm trying to think, and I've been in real estate since 2018. I'm a realtor, started in El Paso, continued it here to Colorado Springs. So that's my connection and how I'm involved in everything. And yeah.
And it's crazy because, you guys were in real estate in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decided to take the jump and said, hey, we want to go to Colorado Springs. We want to venture out. We want to see what life has for us. Literally when COVID started, it was like the day COVID started, you guys moved up here. What was that process like? Because you were trying to get, real estate license, but you guys couldn't.
No, you couldn't, because everything was closed down. They shut everything down until, I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 months. So we couldn't get licensed for a while. Yeah, it was quite a crazy process. And I remember so clearly moving out here, and we moved out here 2 weeks before quarantine. So
Wow.
COVID was a thing. People were talking about it. We just didn't know the level of which it was going to become, And so, it was being talked about. And then California went on lockdown. And I remember laughing and thinking, haha, California. And then Colorado went on lockdown 2 days after. So, and that's, we were here 2 weeks before quarantine, and it was a wild journey.
Jeez.
Yeah, that doesn't fit my personality at all. At all. My husband thrived.
Yeah.
But I did not at all. But it's great. Now we're on the other side, and just trying to get back into the swing of things and selling real estate here, and being involved in all the different aspects of it.
So, you asked me the question, okay, what are we going to see from this podcast? So let me ask you that question. Let me ask you, as the host, coming from your co-host, what would you like to see from this podcast?
I think I'm incredibly excited about leadership. So all things leadership for me. I love business stuff. I love to know what's happening in the market. But for sure, I'm so excited to get some leaders in here to talk to them about their business mindset and kind of where they started and what got them to where they are now. So I think that's what I'm most excited for with this podcast.
That's cool.
Yeah. So needless to say, I'm excited for all the guests that we'll bring in to talk about all of the different stuff when it comes to business and leadership. But to finish this up, because this is really just a quick introduction, first episode podcast, I'd love to end it on a fun, silly, light note. And I just thought, Kyle, with all of your work in the industry, the real estate industry, you have to have a crazy story, right? You have to have something funny that you can share with us. Mm-hmm. And just leave this on a light and hilarious note. Do not let me down. It has to be good. You have something?
I have something for you.
So, all right.
It was, I've been through construction, I've been through purchasing, all the different departments, but this was specifically right when I started in sales. It was my first community. And so I was just getting the hang of things. I didn't know what to expect. I was just learning. And I remember specifically, there was a time when we had homes that were completely finished and we were trying to sell them. And we walked in and there was a squatter. And for those that don't know what a squatter is, it's someone that like takes over a house. They don't live there. They're not contracted. It's just a random individual that, possibly homeless or whatever it may be, goes in there. And then so we had to get, the whole police department involved, called them because we couldn't go in there.
Because this person was living in there.
Yes, because they had moved in, they were showering, all that jazz.
They were showering in the house?
Yes. It was crazy. And so we had this whole event.
Did you catch them?
I was actually in training, so I was with my sales partner. And so I didn't catch them like originally.
Yeah.
We were walking the homes and my sales partner ran into it, came out and was like, hey, do not go in there. We got a squatter. We're going to have to call the police. And so then it turned into this whole event trying to get them out of the house. And it was a nightmare.
So what happened?
I mean, they ended up removing him and stuff. And then I don't know where you take him or anything like that. But it was crazy.
Oh, wow, that is crazy. I had something, not similar because the person owned the home. But we were showing a home recently and we went into one of the bedrooms, to see the entire house. We obviously go into all of the bedrooms. Anyways, we walk into one of the bedrooms and there is a man sleeping on a bed right there, just in the bedroom during our scheduled showing. It was so crazy, but he lived in the house. Like this was his home. And we thought, no, could he be dead? There's no way. He can't be. Like we actually thought he might be dead.
No.
So we just stared at him for a second to make sure he was breathing. He was breathing. We just had to make sure he was okay. And then we slowly exited the room.
So you let him finish his nap.
Yeah,
that was nice of you guys.
Yeah. The buyers didn't buy that house, needless to say.
I wonder why.
That was a first for us. I had never experienced anything quite like it. So I think the squatters definitely, though.
Definitely
worse.
two different scenarios, both of them interesting. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. All right, well, thanks for leaving us on
Yes.
a good, light, funny note.
Always.
Perfect. All right. Well, I am excited. I hope you're excited for the future of How's the View podcast and all the things to come.
Absolutely.
We'll see you soon. I know you'll be back probably for different things here and there. Who knows?
Yes.
Who knows? When I let you back.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ariel.
ultimately.
Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Well, that was the first episode of How's the View podcast. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. We are so excited for what this journey is going to offer. There's a lot of fun things that are going to drop every single month. So stay tuned and we'll see you on the next one.